I love leaking songs. I mean, my favorite album right now still is Bad Bunny's new album. I love that album so much. Every time I make a project or an album, there's always a few songs that I'm unsure about that I really want, but then I don't want, but then I do want, and then usually, if they don't make it, I put them out some other way or leak them or something like that. I don't know. It makes me excited for what's coming next too. Not to already be like what's coming next, but yeah, I'm always like working on what's coming next. So
My name is Monica, and hello from India. It's almost dinner time here.
oh wow, I literally just woke up. I'm doing good, just drinking my coffee.
Oh, I hope you have a great morning. How's the touring going? I'm sure you must be exhausted.
It's been so fun. Like it's just been crazy. My favorite tour. I wish it was gonna go a lot longer, but yeah.
Album is out, and there's so much good positive note about it and everything. I do want to ask. All for Nothing happened at a time where it's out after the lockdown, and now that you're touring as well. There was a certain point when you had no music at that one lockdown, entire lockdown, and now you have new music. So did you completely immerse yourself in the last 1.5 year completely to make this album, or this was something that you were working on for a very long time?
It was pretty much during, yeah, that like last part of lockdown that I made the album. I was just kind of focused on it during then. Yeah, it was kind of the main thing I was doing, I guess.
All for Nothing sort of feels like it's very intimate kind of a story. It's about your childhood memories. It's about lost love. It's like existential. I feel like crisis. There's a panic. There's a lot of stories that you are dealing with, and I think it's probably one of the most vulnerable points. There are moments where you feel like you are most vulnerable. Was there
Yeah.
something that you really wanted to express now, or were you comfortable now to have this kind of story out with this music?
Yeah, I think it makes me feel good because it's like it helps me process that part of my life, and what I was going through. I kind of feel like every album that I make or every project is just like a chapter of what I'm going through, and to be vulnerable about it kind of helps me move on, I feel like.
The particular song, Hey Ari, I think it's like one of the most complex kind of a song that you've written. How much do you also have these moments where while writing the music or while composing it, do you all are there moments where you cry, or there was like
Yeah.
this tough to write and you need a certain break and then you come back to it?
Yeah, I mean, Hey Ari in particular, the first time I heard it back through the speakers, I started bawling my eyes out, just crying on the floor. It was actually really beautiful, but yeah, it was like, yeah, it was intense.
Has it been cathartic in a way to make music where it was like the most difficult time for last 2 years for so many people around the world, but
Yeah.
and mentally taxing as well. So what was it more in a way this was like a silver lining to make music to like in a way that's I think you also make music so often, and you also put out these clips on your social media, so it feels like you just enjoy the process of coming up with the beats and those kind of stuff, right?
Yeah. Yeah, no, I love it. But yeah, it was really a silver lining. Like I feel like it was the only thing that was really kind of getting me by, was making the music. So, yeah.
Yeah. Now that album is out, the Stranger concept was pretty interesting. I loved it. So I do want to ask this. Now that the album is out and you have like certain point to reflect. Now that there's a different, now you can see your album through a different lens from the time
Yeah.
you were making it. Now, from the time you were making it until now, how do you see that entire journey? And do you think now there's a different perspective that now you're looking at All for Nothing?
Yeah, I think I really see it for what it is, and I see it as a super personal album, and I'm less I put less pressure on it. I feel like when I was getting ready to put it out and I was putting it out, I was putting so much pressure on it and like I hope people love this and blah 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 and like just really stressing about it. And I feel like now I just especially playing it at the shows, I just see it for what it is as a really personal album that like means a lot to me and was like a nice is like a nice, like step in my journey. So Yeah.
Do you see that you've grown as an artist with this album, or like do you often reflect on it, that how you started versus how things are going now?
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, I think like this album was like a very much like a healing myself type album. Like it was like just kind of like I feel like I needed that, and I think that's kind of how I grew. It's also like I wrote it in a different way. Like I freestyled a lot of it, like just didn't really think very much, and I feel like I don't know, it makes me excited for what's coming next too, Not to already be like what's coming next, but yeah, I'm always like working on what's coming next, so.
I do feel like, in a way, now artists are taking a lot of more time to properly curate an album and put it out, and not doing that 1 year at a time, but taking their own time to make that music so that they have a certain journey, and there's
Yeah.
also more reflection of themselves in the album. Do you think that this time, when 1 year, 1.5 year, there was no music, when you were not putting out, so was there a point where you felt like, okay, now would be the best time to, now that I have enough things to say, now I can put out the music?
It's funny. I feel like even when I wasn't putting out music, I was still stressing myself out about making more music. So I think maybe this time I could take an actual break. That would be good.
Is it difficult to take that break? Because I feel like there's always a constant pressure, right? There's so many new artists coming up. There's so many moments where you feel like you might miss out that one moment of things, that things are going well for you. Is it a moment where I feel like this is too much pressure? But when do you always feel like maybe I should take a step back and relax a bit and then come up with something?
Yeah, I think the older I get, the more I realize I do need to take a step back. But I feel like for a number of years, I was like, just like I need to be making music every day, all the time. But it doesn't. I don't think it necessarily always works that way.
Interestingly, in the pandemic, you hit billion streams, and I have to say, I'm probably one of those people as well who's added to that. So
Woo!
yeah, so I think
Thank
Feeling
you.
and Paris in the Rain and Never Not, I feel like I listen to them a lot, and it's sort of like helped me in 2020, 2021 when we were going through a lot of time. So it's like Feelings is probably
Oh,
a go-to song.
oh my goodness! Thank you for telling me that.
So I do feel like, are you someone who are these? Your music heals a lot of people. So I've always wondered, like, who are the artists that you listen to when you feel like this is something that's going to help me?
Yeah, that's a really good question. Rex Orange County is one. Um, lately, Beach House is one. Muramasa is one. Um, I'm trying to think who else like heals me. I mean, Coldplay, um, John Mayer. Yeah, there's a lot of different ones.
Right. I
Yeah,
remember when you were in Mumbai and you were performing, and it was a very last minute. I had not gotten your tickets; it was sold out, and a friend said that I do have a last minute ticket. Someone backed out. Come. I am so glad that happened, because I felt like I've had the best time at that show, and
yes.
the entire audience knew the lyrics. They were aware of every song. I think the moment Never Not started, every other person was bawling their eyes out. And it was like a
Yeah,
moment, and I love how the space was very uh, intimate, and you had so much time to see how the audience was reacting. We had the time to see how you were performing. So I think
yeah,
it was such a beautiful moment. So now that you're back on tour, and I do wonder, like, how is it like after so many, like, because there were only virtual shows happening. So now that you're back on tour, seeing that audience and seeing the reaction to the music, is it so overwhelming right now?
yeah. It's super overwhelming. I also feel like I've been feeling more confident on stage too, which has been a really nice feeling. Like I feel really thankful for that. It's been great.
Right. Your music is loved by a lot of popular Indian musicians. Two of them being, I think you recently spoke to Pratik Kuhar and also Arman
Yeah.
Malik.
Yeah.
I don't know whether you have enough interactions with them, but they are quite a supporter of you basically.
Yeah, no, I'm thankful. And yeah, I also just really want to come back. I really want to come back and
Yeah. I do hope that, because now a lot of there's like a lot of international collaborations are happening. You've done a song here already,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
it's kind of nice to see that. But do you think that in the last couple of years, the way music is being consumed has changed drastically? I feel like a lot of independent artists are also booming. Ex,
Yeah.
ex, and that is also a pretty interesting part because I feel like last 2 years people had so much time to listen to new music, listen to artists they may not have heard before, apart from what we call
Yeah.
mainstream. And then I think the lines have also blurred between what we call independent and mainstream. Do you also think
Right. Yeah, I totally agree. I mean, I feel like it's like every day there's somebody new exploding, or having a song or having a moment, whether it's like TikTok or another thing or yeah, it's pretty crazy. I think it's pretty cool though. Like, yeah, it's just awesome to watch like so many people blow up and do their thing. I think it's really
Yeah.
cool.
Do you think? I think when I Like Me Better completely blew up, and even before that you were making music. But there's also an artist always has that one breakout moment.
Yeah.
But since then, do you think have you ever thought like, is this too much pressure on me to always create music that may go so viral?
Yeah, sometimes I definitely put the pressure on myself. I feel like I definitely do that. But it's okay. It's all fun regardless. So I just have fun with it.
Right. How do you find your sound? I think you have such a unique sound to your music, and
Thank you.
even if you've been making music and there's so many experimental music that you do, but I feel like there's a sense of love is there. And I also feel
Thank
like one of
you.
the reasons because your music has touched me so much for over the years. So I always feel like your music sort of reaches out to the audience who I think your music finds them at the time they need the most. I always feel like.
Wow, that is the coolest thing anyone's ever said to me. Thank you.
Yeah. So I always feel like, do you ever wonder what it may have been had the song I Like Me Better had not gone viral?
Oh, I guess I've never really thought about that. I'm so thankful that it's worked out. I'm so
No,
thankful.
yeah,
Oh,
I do. No, I
yeah.
completely understand. I always wonder that. But do you always, when I was listening to the album top to bottom and I saw the visualizers that you had done with the music video, one music video stranger and the visualizers for lyrics as well, audios, and I do wonder, like, how do you know your album is complete? How do you know how many songs you're gonna put in one
Oh
album?
man. I feel like I don't even know. I don't know. I feel like I just kind of go with the feeling where I'm like, I feel like what I'm trying to say or what I feel. Yeah, I don't really have a good answer. I kind of just feel like at a certain point, you're just like, I think this is it. And then, yeah, but maybe, who knows?
Right, right. Have there been any songs that you wanted to put, but then eventually you did not in the album?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, yeah, there's definitely been a few songs. Every time I make a project or an album, there's always a few songs that I'm unsure about that I really want, but then I don't want, but then I do want, and then usually, if they don't make it, I put them out some other way or leak them or something like that.
Leak them. So yeah. Oh, you are the one leaking them. Okay, I've understood that.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I love leaking songs.
Yeah, but I think your lives are also very fun to watch, and also I think you are a very goofy person generally,
Let's
especially on
go.
Twitter.
Yeah, definitely.
I think you do like to have fun with everything that you do. But if I always wonder, but you've been such an open person with the mental health, and I think it's also reflects in your music, and it also I think one of the reasons audience resonates with you is because your story means to them as well, and they
Yeah.
relate to your story. So, but early, you're still in your 20s, and it's very difficult to put out that kind of story early on as well when you're still growing as a human also. Were there moments you felt like maybe I can keep this to myself, or was it important for you to share that story with others?
I think it was really important for me to. It's funny because it started as me being like I feel really distant from like my like fan base and stuff. This was like in towards the end of 2018 or top of 2019. And I was like, I really just want to feel connected again. And I feel like there's a lot I have to get off my chest. And so it kind of started there. I was just like, I feel far away and I don't want to feel far away. And then once I started to talk about my journey, I just like saw how much that resonated and how much closer that brought me to people and how much people were reaching out to me. And I was just like, it felt like the right thing to do. And it felt like really, I don't know, it just felt like the way. And so I just kind of kept going and was like, the more I can share about this, it's like anytime anyone has shared with me their own struggles, or what their own thought processes are or anything, it's always helped me. Like it's never made it worse for me. It's always like helped me. So I'm like, if I can do that, that's fun. Um, yeah.
Right. Do you go on social media and check the covers that people do of your songs? And is it like pretty interesting, like how they make their own versions of their songs? Yes.
Yeah. It's pretty crazy how people still like every day there's a cover of, there's always new covers of my songs. It's really crazy.
Have you, in that process, have you discovered some artists and you may thought, oh, this is a great song? Because I think a lot of times it happens. A lot of artists discover other people just through their cover songs as
Yeah, I should look more into it because there probably are. Yeah. I feel like I have seen some really cool stuff.
well.
It's
Right.
been yeah.
In recent time, have you heard an album and you felt like, oh, this is a pretty good album?
I mean, my favorite album right now still is Bad Bunny's new album. I love that album so much.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay. I do wonder if you do decide, and I know it's very difficult to these days put out like tour dates and all because how things are. But if you do, do you have any memory of the last time you visited Mumbai and what was the show like?
Yeah, I mean, I think one of the things I remember the most was just kind of like, also like exploring Mumbai. Um, yeah, I feel like it was really, really hot. I definitely
Yeah,
remember that. It was
right.
so hot. But it was really beautiful, and everyone, I think also the thing that sticks out the most is everybody's really, really like warm and like nice and like welcoming, which is really cool. I found that really sweet.
Oh, I'm
Yeah.
so glad, and I hope you get to explore more food here if the next time you do come here.
Yeah, definitely.
Right. Now that you are on tour, do you what kind of music are you playing the entire album? Are you waiting out on certain songs, or do you often ever put out unreleased songs as well during the tour?
Ooh, I haven't done any unreleased songs, but the tour is like a pretty good mixture of like of like I Met You When I Was 18, How I'm Feeling, and All for Nothing. So I tried to balance it out a lot.
Hmm.
Yeah.
I always wonder, and this is pretty interesting as well. Do you also make songs that would fit on a tour versus what people might listen to a digital platform?
Oh, yeah, no, for sure. There's certain songs like a song Paranoid, like that one goes crazy live. So we always play it live. Yeah.
Right. Oh, I feel like people enjoy all kinds of music, so pretty interesting. Allow,
Yeah.
do you ever feel like do you ever feel like you or anyway set a goal for yourself, or do you think that you take one day at a time and decide how things are going for you?
I think I'm somewhere in between. Like I do set goals for myself, but then I then as soon as I set them, I try to switch into the one day at a time mode where I'm just like, I've set my goals, the things I'm trying to manifest, but I don't want to obsess over them. Like I want to like just appreciate the moment and be grateful and be present.
Right. And interestingly, I've always wondered in the sense like, are you someone who, if you're into the music, you're going to write the entire song, or are you someone who writes and just goes, lives life, and then comes back and then writes?
Oh, I love to try to finish a song as fast as possible. That's kind of my vibe.
But
Because I get
is it
scared. If I don't, then I'm scared that I won't be able to ever finish it.
Oh, okay. Because I always wonder, like, how does one fast come up with the music so fast or anything? Or maybe because it's for years that y'all have been working. But sometimes that doesn't come and there's a block. And then how do you deal with that?
That's the worst. I don't know. Most of the time it stops me from finishing a song. Like if I have a block, then I usually give up. But sometimes there's when I have something that feels really, really special, then I'll just keep chipping away at it, just keep like coming back to it, every few days or weeks or months or whatever, and just kind of keep checking in on it. Being like, are you ready to be finished yet? Like that's kind of the vibe. Like I'm like, is it ready?
And also the version that you start with through the production of it versus the one that you put out, how many changes do you do for your title tracks?
So many. Yeah, usually so many. Usually it takes there's a lot of really small changes.
Right. Stranger basically then the first version you created versus what it's completely different.
It was pretty like that one definitely like it evolved a lot. Like the drums changed a few times, added guitars, took guitars out, added them back in, took them out again. Like there's a lot of kind of back and forth.
So congratulations, Love, on the tour, and I'm
Thank
congratulations on
you.
the album. And I hope you do come to Mumbai because let me tell you, I need to
Absolutely.
cry a lot at your concert, please.
Let's go. Yeah, definitely. I'll be coming
I'll be
ASAP.
one of those people like when you start singing, a little sobbing, but I will be there.
I'll be crying too. It'll be great. We'll be crying
No,
together.
I hope you have a great time, and I hope that you do well as well. Congratulations on everything, Love.
Thank you. You're so sweet.
Okay.
Thank you so much.